Anthony Melchiori, look at us. We're out and about once again at the EVEN Hotel Midtown East in New York City.
Who's your friend behind you?
My friend behind me? Oh, I don't know, but we'll find out. We'll ask producer Dave. Why? Because this is his hotel. We're going to have a fun time today. Let's get to it.
I'm Anthony. Welcome to No Vacancy Live. That's my friend Glenn.
You're watching the #1 show in hospitality. Hey, everybody. Glenn Hausman here. We were just getting a little point of sale. That is Cobra did that artwork. I don't know exactly what it means, but it looks pretty darn good.
Looks pretty good. Hey, man.
I'm Anthony. Welcome to No Vacancy Live.
Sorry, hit the wrong button.
We're in New York City.
Yeah.
We hear the horns. We hear the sirens. Things are getting back. Listen, right now at 12 o'clock, you would usually see thousands of people going to lunch places. You're not seeing that. You're seeing more tourists. You're seeing some business people.
Yep.
But New York City is getting alive on the weekends. You know, the hotels are busy, but they're still suffering a little bit during the week. But it's great to be here.
It sure is, Anthony. Before we get into it today, and we've got a great show featuring this property and a couple of the executives from EVEN Hotels, because, you know, we are celebrating on National Wellness Awareness Month, and we're going to get into all of that. But, Anthony, last week being with you in Dallas doing live shows at AhoaCon, and the week before that doing live shows with you at Alice at LA, boy, oh boy, it's really great to see all the enthusiasm and energy of us getting back to doing what we love.
Yeah, listen, I love doing this. I love that we're back out, and we're starting to see a little bit trepidation because of the Delta variant. So I just hope that doesn't extend very, very long. But I have an idea as I'm talking to you, Glenn. I just came up with a great idea. I'm going to come up with a hotel brand that's going to compete against EVEN. It's going to be called Odd.
Oh, that's awesome. And
you're going to be the mascot.
Well, I think now you're onto something there, Anthony. And all of us strange, bizarre people could go and hang out there. I love this idea. Maybe we'll get IHG to complement it, you know, so that way they could have both EVEN and Odd hotels out there. But as I was saying, it's a National Wellness Awareness Month and stuff like that, right? National Wellness Month. And last Tuesday, we had Michelle MacArthur on the show, and she was talking all about how to create wellness programming in your hotel. But this hotel brand here, EVEN, is a brand I love because they're really focused on accentuating that wellness in your life, making it easy for you to have success with your health regimen and just feeling good physically and emotionally while on the road.
You know, and it's funny because when I got here, I was like, hey, show me the room, because we're going to show the room. We're going to have somebody working out. It's like, show me the room, because I've seen a little bit of this before in other brands, and I'm like, they don't get it right. They got it right, and I won't give away the secret of why they got it right, but it's the way I work out. Matter of fact, the workout they were doing in the room is the workout I usually use when I'm on the road, or when I did that workout.
I was like 15 minutes ago
this morning. No, but I did it this morning in my gym at home, and so I like it. It's a very you don't need a lot of equipment, you don't need a lot of space. And you get a full body workout. So that's what's really, people are dropping down the weights and they're going to more bands and more basically fluid motion, being able to just walk around and lift things. And it's not about muscles anymore. I used to lift a lot more weight. Now I use bands. So the way the rooms are showing up is the way I work out. So I thought it was great. And I was actually going to be a little bit, I thought I was going to have a little criticism, and I really didn't. I think it was fantastic.
Well, if you'd like me to criticize you, I can certainly.
Let's do that. Let's tell everybody what happened.
No, actually, it was pretty good. First, I beat you in ping pong.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Tell them what happened. We go into the gym. There's a ping pong table.
Yeah, and you just said, "Hey, let's play," and like boom, boom, boom. I've been watching the Olympics. I got this movement back down.
And when was the last time you played ping pong?
I think I was 15 years old or something like that.
And you beat me 7-3, and I'm a pretty good ping pong player.
Well, what can I tell you? I don't know. I got to be good at something.
But I love the fact. At first, I was like, "Oh, ping pong table. Who's going to play that?" As soon as I got there, I was like, "Oh, I want to play."
It was fun.
It was a lot of fun. We're going to play again after.
I wonder, being that we're focused on wellness at EVEN Hotels, we can play beer pong. That's more my sport.
Maybe what we can do is when everybody's done, the last 2 minutes, David can come and video us playing ping pong. That'd be fun.
I like that idea. But you know what I'd like more? Let's bring in our guest today, Julienne Smith, SVP of Development, and Raul Ortiz, VP Global Marketing Brand Management with EVEN Hotels. Guys, let's welcome you to the show officially. Woo! How you guys doing
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Good afternoon.
Where are you located today?
We're in the EVEN Hotel, Cobb Galleria, just outside of Atlanta, or on the edge of Atlanta, not far from our corporate office. Opened a few months ago. Noel Eppelboim's the developer. Real operates it. You guys probably know the Real guys. They operate a lot of hotels in New York. And the gym is active. There's people working out this morning who've been staying here, visiting the Atlanta Braves stadium, which is close by.
That's pretty cool. That's pretty awesome. We're getting a question. How was Jimmy Buffett? Oh my goodness. Raul, Julienne, I got to go to my first concert since December of 2019.
Can I tell the story?
Go ahead.
All right. It's just a lot more fun if I tell it, because I asked him how was it, and he's like, oh. So he goes, there's no friends. Nobody wants to go with him.
Thank you so much to the good folks over at Margaritaville for giving me a ticket. I really appreciate that. You guys are awesome.
So he goes, you know what? You tell the story.
So it turns out Jones Beach Amphitheater is no longer selling beer to the general public. And who does not want beer when going to see a Jimmy Buffett concert? So I couldn't get any beer. And then it started pouring. But I didn't care, because I was at a concert for the first time in like 18, 19 months or something like that. So 20 months. Jesus, it's been a really long time. It was a really good way to get warmed up for all of the other concerts I'm going to this weekend. Guys, I'm going to 4 concerts this weekend. I'm going to need to stay in an EVEN hotel to recover and have a sense of wellness by the end of this weekend.
You were like a fish last night because you were soaking wet. So
I was getting ready for the fish shows.
You were getting ready for the fish shows.
There you go.
All right. So I'll be broadcasting on Friday, our Friday Night Audit show from the Showboat in Atlantic City pre-fish show. So if you want to learn all about what life is on the road, going to see fish shows, watch that show. But today we're talking about EVEN hotels. This is so exciting for you guys. You're opening up, you're making good grounds, but let's indoctrinate people into what EVEN hotels is all about. I mean, I already said it's a little bit about wellness, but you're really building everything around the brand, about the whole notion that you can take care of yourself successfully when on the road.
Yeah, so that's a great question. Look, the EVEN Hotels brand is still a relatively new idea. We've only been around for 6 years or so. And early on in the development, we decided to root this brand in a real consumer insight and a real consumer truth. And that is, this health-minded traveler, this wellness-focused traveler, when they get on the road, they kind of fall off their wagon. Right?
Yep. Oh, yeah.
And the irony is that this is the exact time when they need to be at their best, right? Many of them are, there for a big shoot, closing a big deal, trying to land the dream job, and they're off, right? And so from day one, EVEN Hotels has been about putting wellness within reach. And we're going to do that. And we're doing that by making wellness travel ubiquitous. Because if you think about wellness travel here in this country over the last, I guess since the beginning, it's really been confined to like 2 spaces, right? Resort, spa, remote destinations, or super premiums, uber luxury type of hotels. And for us, what we want to do is actually pull that out and put it in the places and the spaces that people actually travel to on a daily basis.
Right. That makes a lot of sense. Julienne?
Yeah, we've got 4 brand pillars, right? It's rest easy, keep active, eat well, accomplish more, right? That embodies all of the things that you do when you travel, working out, eating good foods. And it might not necessarily mean, kale salad and smoothies. It might mean a burger and a beer, right? Because wellness is different for everyone. So we have all of those offerings. And today we've got 18 locations open worldwide. Anthony, you'll be glad to know we have 2 hotels for EVEN that are dual branded with Staybridge Suites. I know your career started at Staybridge Suites. We've got one in Seattle, and then we also have one that opened in Rochester, Minnesota, near the Mayo Clinic, which is opening well. So we're excited to bring those to the market.
And it's interesting because I always say I work out, but I don't work out on the road ever. I never work out on the road because I don't want to go to the gym. I don't want to get on a treadmill, and I don't want to do yoga. Mm-hmm. What I saw in your room, and we'll bring it up, I guess.
Yeah, in a moment. Dave's already up there.
What I like about it is when I'm in my room, I can put that video on, and I think it was, I don't know how long it was, and it was everything that I do, and it was very easy, and there's not a lot of equipment, and it was perfect. It was absolutely, I'm probably going to book an EVEN if I'm in the city that has an EVEN. I'll book it literally for that piece of equipment. Matter of fact, in my home, I have a difficult time finding some place to put my bands and to really work out with my bands. So I thought it was fantastic.
Right. All right. So let's go to the room. Hopefully, producer Dave, you are ready.
Go to the videotape.
Dave, we got to get a workout on that screen. There we go. I'm going to bring it up on the single shot. So you get this in the rooms. Julienne, Raul, do you want to describe what's going on?
Yeah. So there's basically 3 different elements to getting in-room fitness. This brand was actually almost built for this point in time. What we want is choice, right? People's wellness routine is really rooted in their specific choices. And this first little bit of our in-room fitness is our videos that we have that run about 18 different types of workouts that you can do in the room, ranging anywhere from 10 minutes to 30 minutes. And so even if you only have just 10, 15 minutes to squeeze in before you hop in the shower in the morning to get a workout in, we want to make sure that you get the most out of it. And so that's what these videos are showing. And so now I think we're actually showing a shot of the live room.
This is actually happening here right now at EVEN New York. That's Yan. She's given us a little description. She's given us a little exercise on how you can use this equipment. So it's pretty cool, Raul, that you could do this in the room.
So basically they hang the equipment on that little bar, and that bar is really your gym. So David, if you can go back to that bar, and I want to see the equipment. I want to show what is
and
what,
there we go.
what
I'll get a
she's
close
using.
up of that. Yeah.
So basically you have the ball, you have those pads, you have of course your wipes for making sure that you clean off the equipment.
I see the Clarks in the back.
But that bar they're using is genius, because that bar, and like I said, in my home, I have a difficult time finding a bar that I can use.
I have no trouble
bands
finding the bars.
But that bar is really your focal point. Guys, why don't you talk us through that?
Yeah, so happy to talk about that. So that bar right there, what we call it is our functional fitness trainer, and 2 purposes that it serves is 1, resistance training or stretching, right? Both super important to get a good workout in. And we actually co-developed that with the Matrix Fitness Company specifically for the needs of the EVEN hotel room. And so we actually get a lot of comments about it. About 60% of our guests, believe it or not, claim that they use the in-room fitness anchored by that functional fitness trainer.
That bar is fantastic. It literally really is a game changer. And I would have never thought, again, I came in being pretty critical. I never, like, I sit down and I do the podcast. I never go
to everything every day being pretty
never
critical.
go searching. I was like, okay, where are you going to be? Okay, great. And I'll just do the podcast. I said, I want to go see the room because I want to be able to talk about it. And, you know, I obviously, I wouldn't criticize it on the podcast because I don't think that's fair to you. But I walked in there and I was just like, what? Let me see. And I was like, oh, this is exactly how I work out. Love it. It's absolutely a game changer.
And they're back. Take a look at this. So, Anthony, this is pretty cool that you can do all these different exercises on it. And the bands thing, as you were saying, is really taking off. And it's really easy, even if you bring your own stuff, to throw it in your bag. It's pretty convenient.
And see what she's doing, like her back exercise, all the muscles she's using. That's better than using weights.
Is it?
Oh, absolutely. Because it's not putting your strain on, because when you have weights, you have different kind of levels, so you can pull your muscle. This way, it's all even.
Yes.
Right? Doing it with weights, if you don't have your back straight, right, and if you're not pulling the right way, you're going to hurt your back. What you see her doing is that bar allows you to keep everything straight, and that band allows you to do it at the same time. So you're not doing what I have a tendency to do is I have a tendency to use my right shoulder over my left shoulder because it's my dominant side. And so that usually gives me a back problem. The bands on a bar like that really allows you to work out properly. And plus having the video with an expert there, it's fantastic.
Yeah. And I'll tell you, for me, guys, I've said this before about this particular brand. I am insecure and a little uncomfortable sometimes when it comes out to working out in a gym. And it's always kept me away. That's why I focus more on swimming, because weightlifting and all that other stuff makes me feel uncomfortable. But having that sort of thing in the room really eliminates all that problem and gives me the confidence that I need to get that workout in. And I can't believe before you guys did this that other brands didn't focus on this before you guys. So kudos to you on that.
Yeah, I think other brands had yoga mats and things like that, which this room also has a yoga mat. So for those of us who, have our favorite trainer or yoga instructor on an app, we can kind of connect with them, take a class in the morning in the room. So it accommodates that. But you're absolutely right. That in-room trainer is unique to EVEN. And in addition to that, we do have a state-of-the-art fitness room where in this particular hotel, the owners partnered with Peloton, and there's an actual Peloton in the fitness room as well. So for those who travel and want to, keep their record going and their streak going on the Peloton app, they can do that. And there's other equipment as well to be able to work out and keep your routine going if you're more of a social person when you work out versus in room.
Yeah, absolutely. And my wife has a Peloton at home, and she loves when the guys yell at her, to do stuff in a good way. They're like, "You could do it. You could do it."
It's so funny. I'm so opposite of that. I've had trainers that have been like, "Come on," I'm like, "Dude, just tell me what to do. Leave me alone. Give me some, motivate me to do it, but you yell at me like that whole. I just don't like being yelled at. That's why I like being in the room with the bands in that bar, and I'm your new customer. So you got a new customer. So that's interesting. You use the statistic: 60% of people use the in-room fitness. That's probably much higher than most brands that have tried to do this before.
Oh yeah, I mean we'd kill for 60% of the guests to have breakfast with us every morning. So the fact that we get basically 1 out of every 2 that use this amenity shows we've actually hit a sweet spot with an unmet need in the market.
Right, and especially now with maybe some people aren't comfortable going to a gym, so you get to choose where you work out. And what I like about it the most is I don't see it if I don't see it. If I don't want to see it, I don't see it. It's like that bar almost looks like a piece of the room, a piece of furniture. That little shelf just looks like a regular shelf with things on it. It doesn't look like a gym in my room, which I really like.
That's exactly right. Yeah. I mean, people want to work in their rooms too and do other things, not necessarily just work out. So that's an amenity to the room, but you can still get some work done on the desk with your laptop or watch TV, or, there's different lighting in the room to help create kind of a relaxed environment before bed. So the room is fairly dynamic in that way.
Oh, yeah, I totally forgot about that particular element of it. You have LED lighting, and it can changes to the rhythms of your day and your moods and stuff like that. And you have preset modes, I think, as well as you could set it yourself. Is that correct?
Yeah, you could set preset modes and change and select your color. So if you're a blue light kind of guy at night, to help you get to rest, you could do that. If you want to get jazzed up before you go out to the bars and restaurants at night, you can do that too. So
now, can I still call Glenn and he read me bedtime stories? Can I do that too?
Yes,
I think so. IHG Connect gets you fast internet, so yeah, you should have no problem.
And hold on a second. Let me just give you guys a little props on that. It is so amazing going to any IHG hotel anywhere I go and not having to hit 1,000 different things in order to get online. I basically just hit that I'm on the network, and boom, it does the rest of it on its own. I don't have to worry about spelling my name 50 times, remembering what room number I'm in, none of that kind of stuff. So thanks for that innovation, guys.
Yeah, that's awesome. We love the single sign-on.
Yeah. All right. So Michelle MacArthur is asking, typically, how big is a room square footage wise? When you're thinking about developers, you need to meet that sweet spot about construction costs and giving guests the opportunity to do those workouts in the room. So how are you seeing that come out today as you're moving forward? And I understand New York City is a little bit different, so just ignore that.
Sure. The room sizes range. On average, they're probably around 300 square feet when you get all of the rooms together in aggregate. The prototype is 6 stories, 132 rooms. The one that we're sitting in Cobb Galleria here is a prototype. The fitness room is part of it. The lobby experience has a cork and kale restaurant. And the cost to build really ranges depending upon the market that you're in. It could be, $130,000 a key to build, all the way up depending upon where you're building, what you're building. This particular hotel does not have surf parking like most sort of suburban hotels would have. It's a little bit more urban in a mixed-use center. So it taps into a parking garage that's shared with a corporate user next door.
Cool. That's pretty convenient over there for sure.
So what's the number one guest comment you get about the EVEN brand?
So the best actual comments that we get is typically around our sleep experience, believe it or not. We're all in the sleep business, and what we get the most is really, wow, I feel really refreshed the next morning, and it's on purpose, right? It really is important in order for you to be at your best to get a great night rest. Most of us struggle to sleep when they're on the road, and so we put together a nice premium bedding package. Have a beautiful pillow top beauty rest mattress. I actually have it at home, and lyocell, so performance fabric sheets to help you kind of sleep and stay cool throughout the night.
Well, that's great. And if you do have trouble sleeping, Glenn, for a small fee, will read you a bedtime story.
It's true. Very, very small fee. Usually I'll just do it for some cookies or something like that. So it's not a bad deal if you ask me. All right. So it is National Wellness Month, but wellness isn't a thing that we're thinking about once a year. We've been moving towards this thing, and now we're starting to see it as potentially a competitive opportunity out there, particularly with what we've been through over the last 18 months or so. How are you seeing wellness overall as a trend that's playing into your ability to find success with EVEN Hotels?
Wellness is incorporated in CVS and Walgreens, right? There's wellness sections in drugstores, or Duane Reade in New York. So it's not only a trend, it's part of the fabric of who we are as consumers these days. We're more mindful about what we're eating, what we're breathing, how much, water we're consuming. All of our brands have the bulk amenities now versus the single plastic. Right. We're also thinking about fresh air, and even hotels, all of them have some sort of outdoor area, even in Midtown East where you are, right behind you, that mural is actually part of a patio, right? So in the middle of Manhattan, you can get outside and get some fresh air. So from that,
Dave's going to show it. I'm going to bring it up right now so we can see what it looks like. All right, Dave, let's take a look at this patio out there.
So go ahead. Don't be afraid, Dave. Go out there.
Don't be shy.
He's walking like he's afraid someone's going to.
Yeah, he's very tentative. We've never seen him like this before. Look how cool that is. All right.
It is great for
wonky out there. Looking awesome.
Yeah.
The bar's right next door, so great spot for happy hour.
Yeah. Yeah, and people are more concerned about.
Yes.
Yeah, people are more concerned about what a brand means, right? Not just EVEN Hotels, but also IHG Hotels and Resorts. What do we stand for? What's our purpose? Right. And earlier this year, we came out with our 10-year journey, and included in that is, how do we engage with our community? Who are we as an employer? Who are our franchisees as employers? How are we consuming water? Are we being mindful about that? Right. How are we consuming plastic and big? Yeah. Did we lose them?
Yeah, but also, Julienne, you're also focused on your employees and inclusivity and all of that. And I think that goes a long way to playing into the wellness ethos as well.
100%. I mean, we want our employee base.
I think they're losing.
Yeah, can you hear us?
Yeah, we can. Yeah, everyone's Wi-Fi is getting a little bit wonky, but that's okay. Go for it.
Yeah, it's a sign of the times. Yeah, we want our employee base and our franchisees' employee base to be as diverse as our consumers we serve, right? I mean, you think about it from that standpoint, our guests are extremely diverse, depending upon, the weekend guest versus the corporate midweek guest. It's diverse from a number of different reasons. And that's great. That creates great culture, that creates excitement, that creates, connectivity with the communities that we're in and who travel to visit. I mean, New York, Midtown, how much more diverse can you possibly get, right? For a market, we see every country coming through Manhattan. So that's important to us.
Kensington, Brooklyn, that's where I lived. It was, I swear, the most diverse thing. Hey, producer Suzanne, good to see you. You want to say something? Nope.
I would imagine in a brand like this that the employees, when you interview, do you ask, are you into fitness? Are you into health? Do you care about a brand like this? Is that part of the interview process? Because I saw the young lady that was she's obviously into fitness and she works out and she was doing demonstration, but she also works at the front desk.
So absolutely, it's something that we ask during the interview process. It's absolutely not a requirement, but there is an element of self-selection. I think folks who gravitate towards this lifestyle want to associate themselves at work with a brand that kind of represent what their interests are. So odds are that most of the folks that work at an EVEN Hotels, particularly in kind of the front office, front of house type of roles are going to be kind of health and wellness enthusiasts.
But it's like the ushers that work on Broadway. They were once, people that were either on Broadway, want to be on Broadway. Same thing like the Comedy Store in California.
Yeah, right.
The doormen are actually comedians trying to get to the stage.
That's really funny that
So
you
it
say that.
helps.
It's the truth, right? You've got to be a good doorman before you even get any stage time at a comedy club. Yeah.
So how's your coffee? Good.
It's good. Which I got here at the EVEN Hotel Midtown East. Thank you guys very much for giving me a cup of coffee.
So when you're talking about your brand, there's so many brands out there between IHG and all the other brands. There's a lot. You seem to have something that others don't have. When you're talking and you're competing against other brands, what are the comments you're hearing from owners? Maybe that owners who are not, maybe they're so busy and they're so into their career and building wealth that maybe they're not into fitness. So how does that work? How does that conversation sound like?
Yeah, I mean, Lance, who owns, in partnership with some other people, this hotel that you're sitting in, is a huge enthusiast of fitness, and was a proponent of getting the Peloton in the fitness room. So there tends to be that sort of love of the brand and love of what we stand for in wellness. But then there's also your sort of typical hotel owner who is looking for, a great investment. And when they look at it from that standpoint, they want to make sure that we're competing with our competitive set, right? And we do have, Hyatt Place, Courtyard, Hilton Garden Inn. That's really our competitive set. But what we have is different, right? Because we're offering something that's, more sustainable, more connected to our guests in terms of the wellness piece. So, and we're also very particular about where we want to grow, right? You've got to be able to achieve a certain rate to make the hotel successful. So whether it's, strong suburban or urban, we do have a lot of urban hotels open. There's 2 in Manhattan, 1 in Seattle, Denver Tech Center, we've got 1 as well. They've got to be able to be successful in that regard. So yes, the wellness piece has really captured some of our owners who love that concept, but they're also looking at a great investment where guests are going to want to stay in locations that they're looking at.
And you did something that other brands haven't been able to do for me. You actually have me now in my brain looking for an EVEN hotel when I'm in a town because of that little workout space. And all the brands that I've seen and I've spoken to, it's like, yeah, it'd be nice if maybe I'll go there. I'm not sure. But now it's like when I'm in town, if there's a Staybridge, if I'm in town, if there's a Holiday Inn Express, if there's a town now, if there's an EVEN. So now you're really making me look for that brand, which is really a split-second decision. It really is. It's like, oh, okay, that works. Oh, I like that. All right, book me an EVEN. So now my assistant's going to hear if there's an EVEN, book me.
Right.
So that's really almost $1 billion question when you're building brands. When is that defining moment? And it's so hard in such an overcrowded hotel branding world that 1 second between developing that relationship between the hotel and the guest is almost mystical. It's so difficult.
Oh, that's a great point, Anthony.
You're
Raul?
Yeah, no, you're right. I mean, it really is a really crowded marketplace. And so for us, and I think you've talked to some of our other colleagues that have built new brands as well, the value proposition is around targeting underserved segments of the travel base. And so they've made a lot of trade-offs historically in their life. You Anthony, you talked about not being able to travel while on the road. That's like a big trade-off. That's a big deal. And so that's really one of the things from our brand development perspective that we zero in and focus on is we try to build value for our franchisees and for our owners by coming up with concepts that serve underserved travel communities.
And it's actually perfect because everybody's been home for like a year to 18 months and they've all figured out their video person that they like, or their home gym, and a lot of people are busy with their kids, teaching their kids and working, and they can only grab 10, 15, 20 minutes with their bands. So it's almost like this is built coming out of a pandemic.
I think you're exactly right. And as people are coming out and traveling and feeling comfortable to do that, they can work out in their rooms. And that's a big piece. So yeah, we're pretty hopeful that this continues to catch on. Guests love the brand and look for it, to your point, Anthony, and that developers are interested in continuing to build. And we do have a robust pipeline relative to how many hotels we have open. So we should be opening Long Island City before the end of the year. So another one in the greater New York area, which is great. One in Manchester and New England. So we're excited about the growth.
Awesome. Well, let's take, speaking about excited for the growth, let's talk about growing some muscles. Let's take a look at this gym over here. What we got.
Nice.
This is pretty cool. I love it. There's the ping pong table that still has Anthony's sweat on it from me beating him. So
That's
that was
not true.
well, you know, I've got to be excited about something.
Does it have a Peloton? It has a Peloton.
It does. Yes. Oh,
Make sure that we get a release from that gentleman.
I know, right?
Good form on the dip there.
Yeah, right. Good equipment. Anthony, you jumped on that treadmill. I saw you liked it.
Yeah, that's a treadmill that's easier on your knees, guys. We'll talk about that treadmill.
Yeah, so that's one of the things we did when we developed the brand is we didn't go and outfit the gym or our athletic studio is what we call it. We didn't go outfit it with, one brand for everything. What we wanted to do was kind of take the best of the best that was out there in the market. And so Woodway is the company that makes those specific treadmills, and that's a slat treadmill that has the rubber, and it's easier on your knees, basically, if you can kind of see that there. So it's a proprietary technology that they invented, I guess 30 years ago. And so if you go over to the New York Jets practice facilities, odds are they're probably going to be running on Woodway treadmills versus what you might normally see out there in the market.
Well, I listened to Joe Rogan, and I think Joe Rogan is a big fan of that machine.
I thought he just did kettlebells.
He loves kettlebells. Treadmill, he likes those treadmills.
Yeah. All right, there we go. The famous bike, right? That's Peloton right there. Yeah.
It is. Yeah, not
the Peloton and actually.
I was about to say I didn't recognize it without laundry hanging over it, which is what we have in my house.
You know what? Today it's amazing talking about brands. What Peloton did.
Yeah.
They sold it to the homeowner, and now we, as a community, if you have a gym or you have a hotel gym, you have to have a Peloton.
You do. Yeah, they're brilliant marketers, right? They created a community, right? A community that seeks out that service regardless of where they go. And so, if you go on the Peloton app, you'll see the EVEN hotels that have a Peloton there, and people believe it. That's where they stop first before booking.
Yeah. Right. Absolutely. So, Julienne, obviously you're in charge of development, and we were just talking a little bit before about your opportunities for expansion. So your pipeline, you said, is pretty decent right now. What types of markets are you looking for? Are you doing those urban core markets? Are you doing the secondary, tertiary cities, or is it kind of a mix of both? And what are your goals for the brand in terms of the development in the regions that you want to be in?
Yeah, I'd say it's a mix. We'd love to be in all the major markets, right? The barriers to entry there are fairly high. So we do still have some opportunity to grow there. I'd say most of our pipeline is a strong suburban college. We'll be opening an EVEN hotel in Waco next year, which is a great college market. So I'd say that, college markets for sure, especially if you're near, the practice stadium, if it's a Division I university, that kind of thing. I think we'll have some great opportunity there. So strong suburban, airport even. We'd look at airport market as well. We're not going to make sense in the tertiary markets. To be able to build that type of fitness center and the rooms and all the amenities that we have in the hotel, you need the strong ADRs. So secondary, strong suburban, urban infill, college, and wellness is everywhere, right? It's not just for Seattle and New York, right? It's in a lot of markets across the U.S. So and beyond. We've got a great pipeline in China also, where the brand has really taken off.
That's really interesting.
And what I love, if you're noticing the gym, I don't know, is that guy like part of the hotel? Or is he just a guest?
No, he's part of the hotel, I believe.
Okay. It's like, I love the fact, like, you can see that guy works out, right?
Yeah.
And you can see that he's having a real workout. Like, he's not like, a lot of times you go into a gym and you see these big guys and they're like lost because they don't really have the equipment they need. You can tell that this man could work out there and do his regular standard workout, which is fantastic.
Right.
But I want to kind of completely do what I usually do and go off on a complete tangent.
All right, guys, buckle up for safety here.
All right.
Let's do
Were
it.
you guys in the room when they named the brand? Do you know the history behind the name of the brand?
I know the history behind it, but this was way before my time at IHG.
So what's the history? How they come up with the name?
Balance. It really is all around balance, right? This idea that this consumer, this underserved consumer that we talk about, this wellness-minded business traveler, struggles to be their complete self while they're on the road. And what they really yearn for is that sense of balance that they have in their everyday life when they're at home. They don't get it while they're on the road. And so that's really the backstory around EVEN Hotels. So it speaks to kind of that even keel feeling you have when you're in your routine.
No, I understand that. I understand the balance part, but why not name it Balance? Why they name it EVEN? I want to know the person that created the name EVEN.
I actually, I could put you in touch with somebody who's very involved in all of this. Our friend Adam Glickman, who used to be in charge of the brand back in the day. So we'll talk to him about it.
I'm always fascinated how, like, the moment someone turns to somebody else and go, EVEN. Like, I love that.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
So I will tell you guys that my children and I and my wife stayed there about 6 years ago or so, and they're about 11 at the time, and they were so excited that there were no odd numbered rooms at the hotel. They couldn't get over it.
Yeah. Sorry, I liked your idea about the odds. We have odd rooms left over, so we need to put them in the odd hotel brand. So we'll have to put our heads together.
I'll be a poster child for that. It'll be really good. Everybody will come and and stay with you at a pity for this. So it'll be a good driver of business. So how are investors out there thinking these days, right? My hunch is that everything is really coming back with terms of them. And the only thing that's preventing them from wanting to develop hotels that would open 18 months, 2.5, 3 years from now is the financing situation. So how are you seeing with it? What are some of the opportunities that you see out there and any of the challenges?
And is the Delta variant starting to spook people?
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see what happens with the Delta variant. I mean, everybody was out at Alice, right? I heard it was a great turnout. I wasn't able to make it in the last minute, but 1,800 people attended. Usually they expect about double that, but at the heels of a pandemic, I think that's pretty good. It was sort of quality over quantity, right? There's a lot of key players who showed a lot of great meetings that happened. So I think that's the step.
Julienne, let me just throw in one little thing on that before you continue. That's exactly what my hunch was going to be going into all of these events. Instead of the number 1 and 2 person bringing numbers 3, 4, 5, and 6, the top people are the ones that really focused on this. So you're absolutely right. There may not have been the volume of people, but the people that you wanted to speak to were there, and you definitely felt like you were in the inside club when you were at this particular event. So please continue, Julienne.
Yeah, but we're still seeing events stay on the books. There's been some pivots, right, with different sort of requirements happening in a number of different cities. But in terms of development, we're seeing more conversions for sure. There's more capital for conversions. There's a lot of equity on the sidelines. I think that the debt piece is really the challenge. And many of the debt providers have been focused more on repositionings of existing assets. That being said, we still do have some development conversations. They're just a little bit more protracted, right? It's not breaking ground next month. It's breaking ground maybe in a year.
Right. I don't mean to interrupt. I apologize. Can you
please
tell people the difference? I know it seems common for us, but the people that may not know the difference between equity and debt funding.
Oh, of course. So, your equity investors, have a group of investors that come together to provide cash so that they can get a return, right? Your debt is leveraging that cash, right? You're not going to spend 100% of your cash on one project, right? If you have, let's say, $100 million in a fund, you're going to build 10 hotels to leverage that cash and you're going to put debt on the rest, right? It's leverage. So in a typical hotel new development scenario, you'll have 35% of the all-in cost will be equity. So let's say you're $10 million and the 65% will be leveraged with debt. And a typical percentage rate on that would be, 4 to 5 to 6%. Once you start creeping above that, which is where we are today, that doesn't make sense then, right? You're going to use your cash for something else. So that typical capital stack, as we call it, is usually 35% equity, 65% debt. It's that debt piece that's dried up a bit for new construction because new construction is risky, right? You have to have surety of close and open, right? Surety of construction, continuation. There's a lot that can happen. I mean, I've worked on projects in the past where the developers dug in the hole to, start putting in concrete footings and they found an old railroad yard, right? And that took 10 months to kind of pull that out. So you see things like that, and that's a risk, right? And banks know that. So they're sort of saving their cash for other things at this time. It will come back. I mean, it's a great viable business. It's just during these downturns like this one, the mortgage crisis, 9/11, it causes banks to withdraw. I heard a lender, so a debt provider, once say that hotels are risky because they're empty every morning, right? In office space, you can pre-lease, homes you can pre-sell, but hotels, you're really banking on the traveler. And when bad times occur, like with the pandemic, the traveler's not there, right? So it is considered somewhat risky. If there's an existing asset, yeah, go ahead. I could go on, sorry. Go ahead.
I didn't mean to interrupt you, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, if there's an existing hotel, an existing asset, that's less risky, right? Because you can see the performance of that hotel in real time versus a projection of what that performance could be.
No, what I was going to say was, yes, you may have a building or a home, but you have one tenant, or even condos, you have, say, 200 condos to sell, but you can only sell them once a month. A hotel, you have 200 rooms, you can sell them every single day. So people are looking at it that way. Listen, it all comes down to the market, all comes down to the brand, all comes down to the person that manages the hotel. You get all those things right. Very rarely will you have a problem, but a lot of people don't get those things right.
Yeah.
And I've said this before, the one reason I love the IHG brand is you guys are hotel operators that work with owners. And that's a big difference sometimes between brands.
Well, their ownership board is really, really robust, and they've always had a lot of influence and a real partnership. I think much more before the other brands got.
They just don't seem as rigid.
Like
their brands, their standards are high, but they're not as rigid in the way they deal with owners. That's just my opinion.
Right. Would you guys agree with that?
Listen, the majority of our portfolio is owned by, family offices, right? We're a big franchise engine, and we have to be in the business of owner relations. We have to be in the business of supporting our owners. We don't want an upset owner, right? And we want someone, selfishly, leading development. We want them building another hotel or two or three or five. So absolutely, we're very much in the owner relations business, and think about that first.
Well, and we involve them in the innovation process too, right? We seek them out, use and leverage their expertise in the marketplace to help us solve problems, whether it's, serving a whole new customer base like EVEN Hotels, or, on Holiday Inn, figuring out what we're going to serve for breakfast post-pandemic. They are very, very close counselors of ours to help create and sell these beautiful hotel brands that we have. So they are key innovation partners. And I think that getting that sort of buy-in, getting them, that sort of stake in the game, I think really breeds an element of loyalty.
Yep. I got a quick question on this money sitting on the sidelines thing, and I just can't. I don't get it, because I've literally been hearing that my entire career. When the heck is the money getting off the sidelines? It's just been on the sidelines for 25 years. Why do you think people are saying that? What does it really, really mean? Does it mean people are just holding money for a little while and then they put it in? Because, like I'm telling you, that's all I hear over and over and over and over again. But investment seems to be pretty good at the same time overall. So how do you suss through what people say and the catchphrases we all use at these conferences and the reality of it all, Julienne?
Yeah, I think a number of that sort of money on the sidelines are people who are looking for distress, and we just haven't seen the distress, right? The banks continue to forbear their loans, they continue to be patient. So people are looking for a deal, and unfortunately for them, but fortunately for sellers, hotels are selling for market, if not better than market. So I think that they're looking for that opportunity, right? They're looking to buy for pennies on the dollar, and that's what's not available.
That makes a lot of sense to me.
And
right,
now,
Anthony?
if you have money on the sidelines, and now you see the Delta variant, and you're like, oh, things may go backwards, and people are just being able to survive, maybe they're going to have a little bit of a problem. And now there's like saying, listen, I'm not saying anybody's trying to take advantage of a bad situation, but it's on the sidelines for a reason. And if they start to see people having problems, that's when you'll see money activated, because that money where it's sitting now is making 2 or 3 or 4%. Why would they risk putting that money on the street into hotels to make that extra couple of percentages when they're already making a couple of percentages? So it makes no sense. Like I just almost did a deal. It went sideways, but it was 9%. It was a 2-year loan. And they were, they were drooling to be able to make that loan. And it was a great loan for the project we were working on because of the way we were going to buy the hotel. So that money, I mean, the gentleman that was involved that was going to lend the money was salivating to give us that money, because you can't find a person that's going to get a 9%. Who's going to pay 9% over 2 years. So it was a very different type of hotel that could have supported that, but it didn't work out. But he has too much money on the sidelines right now.
Yeah, I agree. It just drives me crazy because Julienne and Raul, I saw like during the downturn, when the financial crisis in 2008, I kept hearing it. And I just felt like both sides were so opposed to each other. No one could come to an agreement, and a lot of deals just didn't take place. And then all of a sudden this mess happened, and it kind of like sent things, akimbo, I would say. So looking forward, what are you all most positive about? What are you most excited about? What are you thinking about overall when scripting the future of EVEN Hotels?
So I can start from a consumer perspective. I think if anything, what this pandemic has proven is that humans desire to seek out and discover. We yearn for connections with others, and the numbers that we're seeing this summer, particularly from a leisure travel perspective, really confirm that. So I think the long-term prospects for this business is as healthy as it's ever been. We have this short-term gap that we're going to have to figure out. Yep. But if anything, what you saw this summer was everybody trying to reconnect. That's not going to change. And I really do believe that the same thing's going to happen once everybody's back into their office. They're going to realize that these connections are important from a business perspective too. And in the long run, I really think it's going to come back. So for me, I'm most excited about that revelation that we've had over the last 18, 20 months. That, man, I got to get out there.
And that's a good point, because as soon as everybody gets back to the office, they can remember why they hated it so much and want to get on the road to get business done. Julienne, what about you? What do you think?
Yeah, talking about going back on the road, I've pretty much traveled all through the pandemic. I think there's sort of a forced stop around the holidays last year just because of all the restrictions across the country. But I need to get out. I'm not a work from home type of person. So being out in hotels and traveling is really paramount for me. But I continue to look forward to supporting the existing ownership community we have, supporting our pipeline to continue to move forward and get other developers excited about this brand so that we can bring it to all markets that make sense.
Great. So I guess the place to end up is, how do people find you? How do people learn more about EVEN Hotels and the other brands in the IHG family?
Yeah, absolutely. IHGdevelopment.com is a place to go. IHG.com, LinkedIn. Happy to connect with anybody, as is Raul.
And EVENHotels.com. You can look us up on LinkedIn as well. As she mentioned, we're glad to take any questions.
Beautiful. Anthony?
And by the way, are you looking for general managers?
I'm pretty sure we are, with a couple that are going to be opening here soon. So
your resume to a friend of mine who's looking for a position, who's a great general manager.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
is it
always looking for good talent? Yeah,
for sure.
Curie or something like
no,
that?
I'm at. Listen, the last 6 months made me realize I'm going to stay out of the operations of hotels. I'm gonna do what I do well. Talk about hotels.
Yeah, that's what I do well. And I'll tell you guys, the best part about this job is you get to talk about all stuff, and you don't actually have to do anything. So nobody holds any accountability.
23 years or 25 years of running hotels. I'm going to spend the next 15. I spent 10. Now I'm going to spend another 15 just talking about hotels. So I have 50 years in the hotel business, 25 operating, 25 more fun just talking about it, watching people suffer.
All right. I love it. Julienne, Raul, thank you so much for being here today. You guys are absolutely awesome.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, guys. Thanks for having us.
Thank you. We'll see you soon.
Always a pleasure.
All right. So that was a whole lot of fun. So
I love IHC.
Yeah, I mean, this is great. So we're here at the EVEN Hotel Midtown East, where producer Dave is working, and they've got other properties here in the city as well. I know the ownership group has a couple, including that awesome HY36 hotel that's out there. I was going to get Dave to pop on, even though he didn't want to pop on, but now he's got a phone call that he's dealing with.
What's the HY36 hotel? I don't know about that.
Yeah, it's a kind of it's a new Crown Plaza that's down at 36. I went there for a party a couple of years ago. Hold on one second. Hey guys, I know you're still there. Were you Julienne? I think I saw. No, I didn't see you at the HY36, but you've been over there before, right?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, it's a great hotel. It's a Crown Plaza, not far from Hudson Yards. That's where the HY comes in. But they've got kind of a great beer garden going on there. It's actually the same owners as the folks who own the EVEN Hotel that you're sitting in right now. Yeah.
And Anthony, the beer garden is actually outside, which is
Very
cool. So they have the great inside section, and they have a whole outside section in the back, and it's super New York. And I got to tell you guys, it really elevates the whole concept of what Crown Plaza is striving to do. I love that. I love that property.
HY36.
Yeah. All right. Thanks again, guys.
Yeah, check it out.
We'll see you later.
Thank you.
All right. So yeah. All right. So Dave, let's. I don't care what Dave is. What Dave's saying. Dave, unmute yourself. We're bringing you on here for a second.
What's going on, guys?
Hey.
I miss you guys.
Yeah. Thanks so much for being here.
No, I mean, thanks so much for calling. I mean, I was here already, right? You guys are the ones who came.
Oh yeah. It's a really
You know,
good.
the best thing that ever happened to
Yeah.
the show is
Yeah.
that David left full-time position to go work in the hotel business, so we can have
I know.
Suzanne work on it because she's
Right,
such
Suzanne?
a much better producer.
Oh, we're a good team. That's what
No,
we
so
are.
just so everyone knows, David works on making sure that we get people on the show. Suzanne makes sure that people are comfortable being on the show.
Right.
And Glenn does nothing. And you have to see all this equipment I have to bring up every day.
It's
and set up.
ridiculous. The stuff that you have to schlep around.
And Glenn just shows up.
That's right.
Don't you miss this, Davey?
I feel like I feel like I had a TV show for like 10 years on the air or something like that. And I don't have to do anything anymore.
This is just like old times. So you're telling me, guys,
Someone's flashing a bird in my direction. I don't know what I did wrong over here. All right, Suzanne, thank you. So, Dave, you like working over here? You feel the customers
No,
really
he's
get
gonna
the whole.
be on a national podcast, and he's gonna say, "No, I hate this job."
So, all right. So,
right?
when you're dealing with customer feedback, what are they thinking about in terms of using the exercise in the room, doing all that kind of stuff, really leveraging the wellness amenities that are here?
Well, they are. We get a lot of feedback about that, right? Especially for people that haven't necessarily experienced the EVEN brand for the first time. They come in, they see the different workout equipment, not only in the room, but again, we show the gym and how there's really a robust gymnasium here. But, I'm sure you guys talked about it earlier in the show. It gives people that comfort level that they can continue their wellness routines, but still feel comfortable that they can either do it in the room safely, or they can go to the gym if they want, if they feel comfortable with that. There's a lot of options here. And again, wellness means different things to different people. I know Anthony said before, some people may only have 20 minutes to get a workout in. Well, you could do a really nice 20-minute workout. You saw Yan and Kevin, they weren't on camera for too long, but they were working hard. They were sweating, so you can get some good stuff done. So the feedback is very positive from the different amenities we have here, from the different fitness levels that people want to attain.
Yeah, great.
And I love that they have the videos, because the one thing that people just get lost in, I know I do in my 10-minute workout, I don't know what to do. I really don't. As much as I've worked out, I still should I do this with my back, my hamstring? So getting somebody for 10 minutes to show me what to do is perfect.
Yeah, excellent. Dave, any final thoughts?
No, I really appreciate you guys coming out here. Obviously, I'm here all the time. So if you guys want to come see me, please come visit. And, we're in a great location within the city. So thank you very much.
Cool. Thank you, Dave. Take care. Well, all right. Well, that takes us to the end of another episode here. Tomorrow, what's today? Today's Wednesday. Tomorrow's Thursday. Oh, we got Phil Yu, the Chief Development Officer over at Radisson on tomorrow. So we're going to continue talking to all the different hotel brands that are out there. And then next week, and we got a lot of fun stuff going
You
on.
were showing off your skills Wednesday. Tomorrow's Thursday.
Yeah,
What's
I know.
after Thursday?
Listen, you should hear me recite the alphabet, and I can even count to 10.
You can't, but okay.
I know.
We're gonna just leave it there. Hey man, it's fun to be back out in the field. We're gonna go to the Garden City Hotel soon.
Hey, we definitely got to get to the Garden City Hotel. We'll call our friends over there. But listen, everybody, we know you're out and about too. So make sure you download the audio version of our podcast. Find it on iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, wherever you like to hear your shows. That's where we are. If you want to talk to us personally, he, of course, is at Anthony Hotels, and I am at Traveling Glenn. So I'm excited. I get to go to all these concerts this weekend. It's going to be a whole lot of fun. It actually feels like summer finally.
Put that gentleman back up, Bob Legler. Put that gentleman back up. And we've probably spoken about him on the show. But that gentleman right there, the reason I'm sitting across from you, the reason I was on today's show, the reason I have Hotel Impossible, the reason I'm in the hotel business is because I walked in that man's hotel, Embassy Suites, Overland Park, in 1987. And I said, I'm looking for a job. We sat on 2 stools. I'll never forget as long as I live. He goes, very nice tie.
Yep.
I said, thank you very much. I got the job. And we've been friends for many years. And he is one of the strongest people you'll ever meet. I actually got tears in my eyes just that he even is listening to the show. So Bob Legler is the reason I exist in the hotel business.
Excellent. And the reason why I exist in the hotel business is because I made it happen. Like I looked at this business, I'm like, hell, this is a hell of a lot cooler than pest control. I'm getting into the hospitality business. All right, everybody. Thanks so much for being here. And remember, you've got one life, so blaze on and
be kind to yourself.
See y'all tomorrow.